Good morning, everybody. Today is January 1st, 2020. And this is Rick, also known as Duke City Demo Dog. I am driving for Stevens Transport, and I am psyched. Well, you read the name of my video. I'm going to explain it to you in a minute, so stay tuned. Well, everybody, Happy New Year. I'm glad to made it to New Year. Glad to be starting with to be working with Stevens at the start of the year, but it was a rough start, and I'll explain that in a minute. Um, just wanted to wish all my family, friends, people who subscribe, people who watch my videos. Hope you had a great and safe New Year's Eve. Hopefully you have a great New Year's coming in. Watching football and spending time with family if you have off or whatever. Enjoy that, but be safe. Don't drink and drive. If you're driving anywhere, again, be safe around these semis. It's always really important. And say, even other truck drivers sometimes are not safe, and I'll explain again. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I am in Flagstaff, Arizona today. I last time I talked to you, one of the last times I talked to you, I just gotten back on the road after some time off. Got a pre-plan after I dropped my load up near San Francisco, and I got a pre-plan, and I'm running back east. So I had 3 pickups. I was late for the first one because the receiver in my load, the first load, the one that I picked up that I repowered out of Gallup, took forever, and it's not. I mean, I could blame it on the receiver, and I guess I will. I wish they would do those faster, but it was a chicken load, and the 3 chicken loads that I've had done have always taken a long time because the way that they palletize them, they mix them up, and so they've got to sort them and to make sure that what they're signing for is what they got, and I don't blame them for that. But it takes a lot longer. I mean, I had a 5 o'clock delivery time on the 30th. I got there at a little before 4. Check-in time, they started check-ins at 4. I was the second one to check in. I was there nice and early for a 5 o'clock appointment, and I was supposed to, I should have had plenty of time. I had a 10 o'clock pickup in my pre-plan for the next load, and I should have had plenty of time in that to do everything and get there that I needed to do. Go do a washout, which had to go 100 miles out of my or an hour out of my way to get a washout, because you got to go where they're at. I mean, you can't just go to a car wash or something like that, a regular car wash or whatever, and do it. So a lot of things like that. But the thing about it is that they didn't get me out of there until noon, and because of that, I was late like all day long, and it ran into the next day. I was supposed to have 3 pickups, 1 in Northern California, 2 down near Bakersfield, and they should have been all picked up, and I probably could have run for a couple hours if everything would have worked right and gotten gotten a really good start. Didn't work out that way. The only good part was I was sitting so long at the first receiver that I was able to take an 8-2 split and get some time back, so I could get everything. But that part worked out. When I did my trip plan, my plan was to be here in Flagstaff by the end of yesterday, and I made it here. And then things happen. So I'm at the Little America off of I-40, exit 198, and I've always wanted to stop here. I remember as a kid seeing the place, and as we drove by and seeing all the pumps and everything, and thought, and there were a lot more pumps out here at that time, but seeing it and everything, and wanted to stop by, and I heard great things about it, and it is great. They've got 2 parking areas. One is back by the pumps. That's their main parking area, and the other one is across the street near where Black Bart's. It's a steakhouse. They have like plays and stuff like that. I don't even know if they're still open, but they use the parking area for this. So I'm guessing they're seasonal kind of stuff, because it is labeled for parking for Little America for semis only, and that's where I ended up parking. But here's where the fun part comes in. Um, a lot of truck stops, um, to get back to where the parking is, the easiest way to do that is if there's an open lane through the fuel island, is to go through the fuel island, because people stop uh, sometimes in the areas there's not a lot of room, where you go around the fuel island. If there's a scale or whatever, it just makes it tough. Well, in this case, the only way for me to get back there, because of some trucks stopped, and also they were refueling the fuel tanks for the gas station, or for the fuel station, was to go through the fuel island, and I've done that a bunch of times. Well, I was going through, and as I was just about clear, all of a sudden, this truck that was parked in front of me, that was parked in a row but was headed in. What I mean by headed in is, instead of backing the truck in, okay, this truck driver went straight in. I mean, straight head in. Now, in the past, I've said, that may be something I would do if, I've got a reefer, it's loud. If I was around some people that were driving boxes, or flatbeds or whatever, to keep trying not to keep them awake. But if you do that, if you choose to do that for that reason, or for whatever reason, maybe you're really tired and you just can't think, and you get in there, you got to get safe. You got to get out and look. You got to get out and make sure there's nothing behind you. And you definitely need to turn your lights on, and your flashers, so people know what's going on. This guy, all of a sudden, his lights, like his brake lights, went on real quick, and he just came back fast right towards me. Uh, there was no place for me to go other than to put it to put some fuel in there. I mean, to put some, to start moving this truck. I mean, to get it out of the way, and to get turned quick. Well, I got away from getting. He didn't hit me, but in the effort to try to get, so he didn't hit me. I clipped one of my rims on the trailer, and on a small concrete, about foot and a half, 2 feet tall, little piece of concrete that's at the end of the fuel island. And I felt it, and so I checked, I stopped, tried to get the guy who was backing out to stop, to say something. He didn't. He just took off and went wherever. I looked. It didn't. It looked like I had scraped up the rim a little bit. Didn't look like it damaged the tire. But in my post trip, I started hearing some air. Now I've got these tires on the back that they get refilled. The air pressure is controlled by the air tank in here. They're all connected and everything, and so it keeps that air pressure right, or whatever. But I kept hearing this air coming out of that one tire, and I looked, and the bead had the rim had bent enough for the bead to pull away just slightly, so I had an air leak. Well, that technically is an accident. Anything that's out of the ordinary is a quote unquote an accident. Whether it's my fault or not, I don't know what they're going to say. I don't feel like it was my fault. I was trying to save my truck from having a real accident, because this guy was backing up straight into me. I took some pictures of because because as soon as he pulled back forward, because he didn't take off right away. He pulled back forward when I blew my horn and moved it real fast. He pulled back forward, and I took some pictures of what had happened, and the rim, where I hit, and all that stuff like that. I took some pictures, but when I went to go talk to him is when he took off. So that was, it was one of those things. But it was right before midnight here in Arizona, so I was like, what a way to end the year, huh? And I don't know. Hopefully, like I said, they're going to tell me it's not my fault. If they do, I'm going to have to pay something for it, and it sucks. But it is what it is. As long as, my truck, he didn't hit my truck, or damage the trailer, because that's what it looked like was going to happen. because he was coming right back for me, and he was coming pretty hard, pretty fast. Um, so, um, so anyway, so I called safety like I needed to. I told him what happened. He sent me, told me to, he connected me to Road Rescue. Told me to take the pictures that I had taken, make sure and get those to the right department at corporate, and I emailed those and everything, and sent them out. So like I said, I don't know what it's going to be, but it is what it is. Anyway, so back to the to the name of my video. I won, and nobody can take that away from me, at least for a while. So about an hour after I had talked to safety, and I talked to Road Rescue, and they said, wait till the morning when the road service place here opens at Little American, and have them take care of it. Just as a little side note, it's January 1st. They're not open today. I called Road Rescue. There's enough air in the tire. It is refilling. It's not flat. It's not hurt. It's just got a leak in it. They want me to run it to Holbrook, to the TA, to get it fixed. So I'm going to do that. This would have been easier over here because I wouldn't have burned any time. But over there, we'll do what we do. Hopefully it won't take them very long. Hopefully they're just able to fix the rim. I don't know. Anyway, back to what happened. So I get a call back from the safety guy I talked to. He said, "Hey Rick, this is I can't remember what his name is." He said, "Hey," I think it's Robert or something like that. He says, "Hey Rick, this is Robert, from safety. We just talked." He says, "I want to congratulate you." And I said, "For what?" And he said, "Because you not only have the first accident of the new year, you have the first accident of the decade." And I was like, "Oh, great." I said, "Well, I said, where I'm at, it was just before midnight. I feel like I thought, what a way to end the year. What a way to begin the year, because I'm in Mountain Standard Time. They're in Central Standard Time. So I hit that thing right before midnight here. It was right before 1 o'clock there. But it is what it is. But anyway, so I won. Nobody can take it away from me. That's what I got. But they'll be talking about this at one of the review sessions, and decide whether I'm liable for it or not. They said hopefully they'll say no. But having sat through one of those, I'm going to guess they're going to tell me I'm going to have to pay something for it. I won't have to pay for the whole thing, hopefully, but they'll have to pay something for it, and they'll let me know and whatever. But it is what it is, and you'll hear me say that it is what it is. That's just the way to deal with things sometimes. If you focus too much on it, oh, that's wrong that they're going to make me pay and whatever. Yeah, if they do, I'm going to feel like it's wrong. But what am I going to do? Sit here and whine and complain about it and do everything like everybody on that I watch a lot of YouTube people say that. Oh, and it's horrible, it's wrong. They're mistreating me. No, they're not. If every little bump and everything that somebody did, they just took it and didn't try to show quote unquote deterrent and be at least consistent about it, then people aren't going to care about their equipment. Me, I care about my equipment. That's why I was trying to get my truck out of the way. Anyway, so that said, that was sort of the start of my year. But it's going to be a good year. I already know, just looking at the time, this was a 2,500 mile load, and the way things were going and the way my 70 was looking, and now that I'm going to have to take a little bit of time out of it because I got to stop and get this done, I'm going to get behind. My goal was to get to Oklahoma City today. Ain't going to happen. I don't think so anyway. It depends on how long it takes them to do what they need to do at TA. If they do it fast enough, then maybe I can get to Amarillo or even Elk City or something like that. We'll see. But I'm going to try. Like they told me when I talked to the plant to one of the overnight driver managers when I submitted my trip plan, more than likely, just looking at my clock and everything, they're gonna repower me somewhere in the Midwest. So I doubt I'm gonna deliver this thing anyway. It's not that heavy, so I'm not worried about the tire, the weight on the tires. This is a pretty light load. In fact, two of the three places I picked up, I had gone with, I'd gone to with Mark. In fact, I called him and joked about it with him. But luckily, having that experience saved me a lot of time because the one place that I picked up a bunch of like those vegetable snap stuff. Was a place that we got overnight to pick up early in the morning, and they let us practice parking in the dock, and it wasn't an easy dock to park in, an overly easy dock to park in because you had to sort of wind the back end of the truck back and forth to get there. Uh, because I had parked there, because I had practiced all that, I went there and one shot it, and the guy was really surprised. So I was like, so am I. Well, I could be, but I feel like I have a lot of practice in this dock, which I did. And then the other one saved me a lot of time is that the address on the Qualcomm on the directions and even in the system is wrong, and we had found that out when we went to go pick up some other fruit over there when I was with Mark. And so when I saw that and saw where I was like, okay, I know this is not the right place. I know that's the right place down the road over there. And so I went there, and of course it was, and I was able to, I was too late to pick up that night, but I was able to pick up in the morning. So thanks for all that and everything like that. But we'll see how it goes. There are a few things, topics I want to talk about. I'm starting to get some vlog ideas down because besides just the truck driving stuff, I just, I want to talk about some stuff that I see out on the road. Some different things that I think are interesting. Topics. If you know me, you know that I, my background is in education. I've got numerous degrees. I like to look at the different sides of stuff. I don't want to be controversial per se, but I do want to talk about, what's going on, or what I see, and so as you drive around the country and you may see the same thing, at least, maybe you'll have some kind of knowledge base because I'm going to look, spend some time looking at some of this stuff, especially dealing with a lot of the farms and stuff that are in California and the water issues. So I'm going to talk about that in a different vlog and everything like that. But overall, it was a great year overall. Hopefully, you had a great year last year. Making a big change like this, like I did, is scary in a way. I mean, it is because you don't know, but it makes a difference. So, but that said, I hope you guys have a great New Year. I hope it started well. I hope it continues well. I hope it's the best year ever for you. If you're one of my friends, lifelong friends or whatever, make sure you say hi down below and let me know where you're at. I'd like to, as I'm traveling the country, if I get a little time or whatever, make some phone calls to some old friends, grab lunch, grab a cup of coffee, something like that if I can. Just one of the byproducts of doing this job. So anyway, you have a great day and have a great New Year. Again, this is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I'm driving for Stevens Transport. I'm psyched. You guys have a great one. Take care.